Hey guys, it's Stoof here from Travel SzN. Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we're going to talk about some great things you can do in Theodore Roosevelt National Park. This national park is located in the western portion of North Dakota in the United States, and this park is actually broken down into two units, the North Unit and the South Unit. These units are about 1 hour and 20 minutes driving distance apart from each other. Because the South Unit is located closer to the major highway, it is the more visited section of the park. It also has the town of Medora, North Dakota right there, so we're going to focus on the South Unit first. If you want to get a little taste of everything this park has to offer, take the Scenic Loop Drive through the South Unit of Theodore Roosevelt National Park. This is a 36-mile loop road that has some great little stops with overlooks, wildlife viewing. You can see a handful of different prairie dog towns along this drive. One thing I would like to mention is when we visited this park in 2021, mile marker 24 through 28 were closed due to consistent erosion going onto the roadway, so I don't know if that is planning to reopen for the 2022 season or not. Just make sure you check the NPS website that I have linked in the description under this video for current conditions in the park. You can see if that section of the road is closed. Because that section of the road was closed, we just had to do the whole loop twice, basically. We had to go out one way and back the same way. Next up on our list is the Big Plateau and Ekblom hiking trail loop. This is a 5.2 mile loop. If you do the entire loop there, this trailhead starts from a small little ranch. The Peaceful Valley Trailhead is the name of that trailhead there. The start of the hike is generally flat through an open field with several trees, and you come to the Little Missouri River and you have to cross the river. When we visited in summer of 2021, there was very little water in the river, and we made it across without getting our feet wet just by walking on the stones in the river. Please just be careful and use your best judgment for crossing the Little Missouri River. Conditions are not always going to be as calm as they were when we did this hike. After you cross the river, you're in more of an open plains area. We started to go uphill a little bit and veered to the left towards the Ekblom Trail, and we started to make our way into a prairie dog town. And these prairie dogs are much less afraid of people than the prairie dogs along the road.
Okay, give us a nature talk about prairie dogs.
Here you can see this little creature. Is that it?
They communicate with each other verbally and by doing little jumpy dances. And they live in these big communities.
We also saw several bison on this hike. Although this trail is rated as moderate, there are a couple steep little hiking spots. Parts of it are very flat and parts of it have more of a steep incline, so just keep that in mind. Next on our list is the Wind Canyon Overlook. This is a short 0.4 mile loop walk from the parking area. There is some uphill, so it's rated as moderate. It's a beautiful short walk to an overlook of the Little Missouri River meandering around the rock features. So it's really a beautiful spot. Next on our list is the Burning Coal Vein Trail. This coal vein nature trail takes you on a 0.8 mile flat loop walk around an area where a coal vein caught on fire in 1951 due to a lightning strike and slowly and steadily burned for 26 years in through the coal seam. And the fire has gone out since then. There is an interpretive trail guide you can print out before you go on this hike that can point out some of the features that were impacted by this coal vein catching fire in the 1950s. Next, we have the Boykert Overlook Trail. This is a popular hike in the park. It's 0.8 miles out and back, has about 60 feet elevation gain. The first section of this hike is on a paved path, so it is accessible for wheelchairs and strollers. The second portion of this trail is dirt path, and it's a little uneven, so just be cautious going off of the paved trail. There are steep drop-offs on both sides of you as you get to the farthest point of this little overlook walk, so just be careful with small kids, but the views from here are gorgeous. You have 360-degree views of the Badlands. While you're visiting the south unit of Theodore Roosevelt National Park, make sure you take time to check out the town of Medora, North Dakota. This is a very historic town. There's even a musical that talks about the whole history of Theodore Roosevelt coming to the area and how the town came to be. I recommend booking your tickets to the musical in advance as they can sell out. We went to see the musical, and unfortunately, after halftime intermission, there was a lightning storm coming in, so we had to cut it short and head out. So we got to see half of the show. There's also a campground in Medora. That's where we stayed with our travel trailer when we visited this park. Finally, while you're in the South Unit, make sure you take time to visit the Painted Canyon Visitor Center, and if you have time, stay to watch the sunset. We just grabbed our camp chairs, some blankets, and sat there and watched the beautiful sunset over the North Dakota Badlands. Now let's take a look at some things you can do in the North Unit of Teddy Roosevelt National Park. My first stopping point here is the Little Mo Nature Trail. This is a great trail to do with kids. It's a paved trail, has a little picnic shelter as well if you want to stop and have lunch there. There's a brochure at the trailhead that has numbered stopping points along the trail that you can stop and read about the different plant and animal species you might encounter along this hike. One of my favorite spots in the North Unit at Theodore Roosevelt National Park is the River Bend Overlook. This is a short walk from the parking lot to an amazing overlook of the Little Missouri River and the Badlands. Several hiking trails also intersect with this area of the park. If you want to feel like you stepped onto another planet, you need to go see the Cannonball Concretions section of the North Unit. I included a link about how these geological features form in the description under this video, but these cannonball concretions generally form by minerals precipitating and filling in the pore spaces in between the sediments, usually with calcium carbonate, which is much more resistant to weathering, so it creates these big spheres that don't weather. The rest of the rock around these concretions weathers and erodes away more quickly, leaving behind these large cannonballs. And finally, while you're in Theodore Roosevelt National Park, whether you're in the North Unit or the South Unit, you can see lots of wildlife here. There's no way you're going to visit this park and not see a prairie dog town. We have a handful of prairie dog towns in the South Unit and a few prairie dog towns in the North Unit. There also are some prairie dog towns you can see along the main highway as you're driving through the area. You're probably going to see bison. We saw bison in both the South and North Units. I also saw a jackrabbit. I saw a handful of different birds. Good morning from Teddy Roosevelt National Park. We just started our day and we're on the scenic loop and we spotted some bison. And Nate is very excited because he just bought a spotting scope. Good bison way over there. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that there are 2 sections of this park. There's actually a 3rd section. The 3rd section is the Elkhorn Ranch unit, located in between the north and south units. You can access it by going on the road west of the south unit. We did not visit the Elkhorn Ranch when we went to this park. I read about it and decided not to go. This place became Theodore Roosevelt's home ranch after the death of his wife and mom, and this ranch is no longer there. All that remains is the stone foundation for the ranch, and there are no facilities there, so there's not really a whole lot to see there unless you're super excited about Teddy Roosevelt and his life and history. I don't know if this is worth your time to drive up there and go see that, or it could be. You make your own decision on that. That wraps up this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed learning about Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota. We really enjoyed our time here. We spent 2 full days in the park, 1 full day in the south unit, 1 full day in the north unit. Personally, I enjoyed the north unit more than the south unit because it's farther away from the highway. There are less visitors up there. It's less crowded. I also enjoyed the geology of the north unit a little bit more than the south unit. The north unit, you can see a little bit more of the rock bedding, and then it also has those cool cannonball concretions up there. And you also have broader vistas at some of the viewpoints in the north unit. If you have any questions about Theodore Roosevelt National Park, you can leave a comment under this video and I will answer it to the best of my knowledge. If you're planning a trip here, I hope you have an awesome time. Thanks again for joining us today. Have a great day and happy travels. Bye bye.